Well, I'm Kareena Waters. I'm the founder and managing director of Industry OneCARD. Industry OneCARD was started, like a lot of businesses, with knowledge of something that wasn't working and a desire to change. My corporate background was 20 years as an RTO training manager. Of the last 10, I worked in resource and oil and gas. And I dealt daily with training records, or lack of them, and SMEs and contractors just not having what they needed. And in that role, I had a helicopter view of the industry and realised that the push was coming from the first-tier contractors, the primes, that also had their compliance requirements, and it was being pushed down to these SMEs who, quite frankly, were drowning. So like a lot of good ideas and entrepreneurs, I didn't have the time or the money to implement what I wanted. And in December 2016, which was exactly 4 years ago this week, I got made redundant from project. So I took the opportunity to turn redundancy into opportunity, and I started Industry OneCARD. Industry OneCARD offers bespoke training management services, which is a very broad subject, but we basically look after SME and contractors' training and licence records for their employees. We make sure they're compliant. We do training needs analysis to find any gaps in their compliance. We also can put development programs together. And one of the things really missing in the SMEs is understanding how to capture the evidence of in-house specialised training. So we work with these companies to actually tighten up their training and give them visibility of training records. All industry sectors get in trouble and all have their compliance requirements from not only the regulation and legislation requirements, but also from clients. And even though my background is oil and gas and resource, my first client was a signwriting company, and that threw me. But when I thought about it, they have to be inducted into most shopping centres. They use high-risk equipment to put signs up. So we do operate mainly in the SME, the defence, the engineer, the resource sector, because that's where a lot of the compliance push is happening at the moment, and a lot of focus on the new laws and legislations. But hospitality, health, you name it, any company that has more than 15 employees will start getting into trouble with their training and licence records. The resource sector, the oil and gas sector, engineering companies, manufacturing and defence. They are the ones that we find at the moment need the most of the help, because it's changed for a lot of them. That your big companies have known about these things for a while, and some of the smaller SMEs are now struggling to actually catch up. We also work in companies that do ISO accreditation, because training records management underpins the 3 major ISO accreditations that SMEs usually need for tenders and clients. We made a very early strategic decision, and this is from lessons learned in our corporate life, because most of us on my team are training professionals. We made the decision that we weren't just going to provide a company a digital platform. Most companies have a digital platform, but 85% of the data in that platform is often corrupt, which means they're reading not good data, so they're not being able to make good decisions on who to put to a job or what to do. So we made the decision to provide the data entry team and the training administrators. So we're virtual, so we actually work as part of a team. So we give the platform, the data entry service. So I think one of the things that make us stand out is our customer service and our deep knowledge of training and the Australian compliance system. Well, when I started Industry OneCARD, I did a lot of consultancy while I was building the business, and I had a really great opportunity to write the workforce development plan for Bombardier for the MetroNet project. And in doing that project, I was introduced to the defence SMEs down on the Henderson Strip, because we were looking at putting a really good apprenticeship together, utilising their defence. And what I found with the defence SMEs and contractors is not only did they have the compliance of normal legislation, clients' requirements, regulations, standards, they also had the added layer of security passes, and this was really impacting on the defence SMEs. Plus, a lot of them are time poor, they don't have dedicated training teams, and with their ISO accreditations, they were just struggling. So we are really supporting these industries. I've just been elected to the board of the Henderson Alliance because part of what we do is educate. We would like SMEs to understand what is valid evidence, how they can capture what they do in their workplace, and actually have records of what their staff are doing, because the Defence does some really great in-house training that it's not captured anywhere. We are actually just moving out of that startup stage. We've just formed our first board of management and attracting some very, very experienced people. So our focus is to try and make training records a more talked about subject, because it actually underpins not only making employees safe, because you can see if they've got the right training, we're actually trying to make your business safe. And with the changes to the WHS laws in WA, they've been implemented in the East for a while, the fines and penalties of non-compliance are not just significant for an SME, they could be catastrophic. So we need to actually, what we want to try and do with Industry OneCARD is provide visible and accessible training records, which then leads after a while to transferable training records, so that a person can have a passport of their training, travel with them, add to it as they keep going, and employers can see what they've done in the past so they know what they need to plan for the future.